So students, let us continue with the next session. We have completed already 8 slides. Now we are going to discuss about the next topic of this first chapter, that is cascading style sheet. Okay, in short it is called as CSS. Okay, the CSS stands for cascading style sheets. CSS describes how HTML elements are to be displayed on the screen, paper or in the media. CSS saves a lot of work. It can control the layout of multiple web pages all at once. CSS allows you to control the look and feel of several pages by changing a single source. Okay, so here we have using the CSS for to decorate the papers or screen in the media. Okay, so now we are going to see the syntax of CSS. A CSS contains, okay, a selector and a declaration block. Okay, here it is given by an example or the syntax as H1. So H1 is the heading 1. It is enclosed in the curly braces. Okay, it is called as curly braces or curly bracket. So this is color. If we have to give the heading 1 font color as yellow, so this color is used as a property and this yellow is used as a value. Okay, so in these two, property and value, we are having colon. Okay, and to differentiate more than one property and value, we are separating it as semicolon. So here we have total H1 as color yellow and font size as 11 pixel. It is measured in terms of pixel, so it is denoted in the shortcut PX. So there are types of CSS, different types of CSS are there. We are going to see there are 3 methods of implementing styling information to an HTML document, or in short we are saying that there are 3 types of CSS. Okay, number 1 inline CSS, number 2 embedded style sheet or internal CSS, and number 3rd is external CSS. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about the first type, that is inline style sheet or inline CSS. Okay, it uses the style attribute in the HTML start tag. Inline CSS is used to apply CSS on a single line or element. In this we are using for only it is applied for the single line or an element. For example, students, I have written the book example here and I have given most of the output in the form of PowerPoint slide and I have captured the print screen. So first example, now we are going to start, or we are having the HTML programs from here. Okay, so as we know, exclamation mark doc type HTML. Now the syntax of HTML, HTML head style. Okay, so this is enclosed in the head section, the style is enclosed in the head section. Then in this style we are having H1 color blue, we are having only one property and value. So this style tag is closed, again this head tag is closed. Now in this body tag we are encoding only one single line of coding. Okay, H1, the internal style sheet is applied on this heading H1. So this H1 is closed here, slash body is closed here, and lastly we are closing the HTML tag. So output is given in this R, output is given in the blue color. The internal style sheet is applied on this heading. Okay, so you can practice such type of programs in the books, or you may use another type of heading here. So you can get the maximum benefit of this inline CSS. Okay, So the second type is embedded or internal CSS. Okay, in it is used to apply CSS on a single document or page. We can apply it on a single document or page. It can affect all the elements of the page. It is inside the style tag within the head section of the HTML. So as we discussed earlier, it is enclosed in the head tag. Okay. So now here it is another example for embedded or internal CSS. HTML head style h1 color red style style close head closed. Now in this body tag h1 heading we are having the same contents. The internal style sheet is applied on this heading. This heading tag is closed. Now in this paragraph tag, this paragraph will not be affected /p or it is terminated by /p. Again we are closing the body tag, and lastly we are closing the HTML tag. Okay, so the output of this is we are having this heading 1 in the font color red, because we have mentioned here red. So all of these examples are maximum having the output, but if some fonts does not support or if some browser does not support that tag, so it will not be given in this output. Okay, so next slide is our external style sheet. This is the third type of our CSS. This is generally used when you want to make changes in multiple pages. Okay, you have to write more than one page in our web document. So this external style sheet is used. It facilitates to change the look of the entire website by changing just one file. Okay, it uses link tag on every page, and this link tag, that is link, should be put inside the head section. Okay, what is the meaning of link? We have to link one page to another page. In Marathi we are saying it as जोडणी. एका पानाची दुसऱ्या पानाला जोडणी आपण जिथे करतो तर त्याला आपण लिंक टॅगचा वापर करून देत असतो. So each and everything we are having shown this by example. So this is the example of external style sheet. So again the format is like that. Document type HTML head in this link relation. Okay, relation style sheet type is equal to text / CSS, href is equal to style.css. Again /head, we have closing this by /head. Then body tag, this is a heading h1. This paragraph will not be affected, it is closed by paragraph tag. Next closing of body tag, and lastly closing of HTML tag. So an external style sheet can be written in any text editor, because we are using the notepad as a text editor and must be saved with a .css extension. We have to mention here that all the files, means HTML files, we are using with the .html extension, but in this external style sheet we have to save with the .css extension. The external CSS file should not contain any HTML tags. Okay, so this tag here is now the style.css file looks like style.css h1 color navy, margin left 20 pixels, means we are setting the margin of this heading to left, and the size of it is 20 pixels. The output is as follows. This is heading. So this is the print screen output of the program. Okay, so पुढे का चाललं नाही. Next topic is CSS ID selector. Okay, ID is for identification. The ID selector selects the ID attribute of an HTML element to select a specific element. Okay, if we have to select a specific element, so this ID selector is used with this attribute of HTML, and ID is always unique. as we know that our roll number is unique, so such an ID in this class selector or selector CSS, the ID must be unique within the page. So it is unique element, it is written with the hash character, means it is denoted by the hash symbol followed by the ID name. So here we are saying that we are having the hash symbol followed by the name of that ID. So here it is explained in this example. So again the format or syntax, HTML head style, and this is actual our what is ID coding, okay. Hash para 1, okay. This is the ID selector, and this is the class name, or it is called as ID name, okay. Text align center, okay. The alignment of the text is placed as a center and color is used as blue. Then style tag is closed, again head tag is closed. Then in the body tag we are having this paragraph tag, ID is equal to para.1 or para1. Hello students, we are writing only 2 words in this program, hello students /p. Again paragraph tag is there, this paragraph will not be affected, okay. Again it is closed by /p. Again we are closing the body tag here, and lastly we are closing the HTML tag here. So this is the output of the program, hello student, this paragraph will not be affected. This is the output. You can practice this such type of programs, okay. And next our topic is CSS class selector. We have studied ID selector. Now we are going to see the class selector. The class selector selects HTML elements with a specific class attribute, okay. It is used with a period character. In ID selector we are having hash character, and in this class selector we are having this period character. This is denoted in single quotation as full stop, okay. The period character is also known as full stop symbol in English, okay, followed by the class name, okay. Same as the type of ID selector, only we are having the difference that in ID selector we are using the hash symbol, and in the class selector we are using the dot symbol or period symbol, or we are saying it as full stop symbol, okay. The class selector is used when you want to change a group of elements within your HTML page, okay. So for a group of elements we are using this type of class selector. The class name should not start with a number. So as we know that maximum times if we have to save a file, then the file name must be alphanumeric or alphabetic, but it must start with a alphabet character. So this is the note in the class selector, that the class name should not start with numbers, means not starts with digits. So example, here is the example. Again we are writing this program or such type of programs. HTML head style dot intro, means this is a class selector followed by class name. Text align center, color blue, okay. Then this style tag is closed, head tag is also closed. Now in this body tag we are having h1 class intro. We have to mention the name of this class here. This heading is blue and center aligned, because we have mentioned these in this class selector, okay. So paragraph tag, class is equal to intro, this heading is blue and center aligned. We have written this line in paragraph tag also, as well as in the h1 tag also. So next body tag is closed, and lastly the HTML tag is also closed. So this is the output, okay. Next we are having the universal selector, okay. The universal selector is used as a wildcard character. Now what is the meaning of wildcard character? We are using one or two values for the substitute is called as wildcard characters. It selects all the elements on the web pages. For example, each and every topic is now having as an example, so you can clearly have all these type of headings with the help of this type of examples. You can create such another type of examples. These examples are given in the book. Okay, document type HTML head style. I am writing this in only one single line. No problem, you can write in a single line or you can write it on multiple lines. If you are getting confused, then write it on a separate single line. Okay, then this is asterisk symbol, color green, font size 20 pixels. Then style tag is closed, next head tag is closed, then in this body tag, this CSS style will be applied on entire page. Okay, it does not check tag or plain text. Here we are using the break tag, means we have to show if this line is completed, we are having the break, or we start this heading 2 in the next line. This CSS is applied to first paragraph. Okay, so this heading 2 is applied to the first paragraph, and in this paragraph ID para 1 it is applied to the first paragraph. Again the paragraph tag is closed, again there is a paragraph also to second paragraph. Here one mistake is there, instead of angle bracket the question mark symbol is print, so you can take precaution, otherwise your program will not get executed. So make the correction here, and lastly we are closing the body tag, and at the last we are closing the HTML tag. Now this is the output of the program. It is shown in the green color, and as we write all the sentences, it is written in this format. Okay, so you can practice much and more programs by doing this every topic, each and every topic. Now there is a group selector. Okay, if we have to select, or if you have give one such type of coding to all of these document or all of these lines, then instead of using such type of selector, we are using group selector. The grouping selector is used to select all elements within the same style definition. Means for example, if you are having, means for example your name is unique but your class is same. For example, we are having the example of D division. Now all the students of D division are promoted to 12th standard. So each and every student will have the same contents as class, division and college name as same. So we can use this group selector to such type of definitions or styles. Used to minimize the code, comma is used for separation. What is the purpose of this group selector? So lines of code, we have to minimize the code, means in one single line we can do all these coding lines, and this we have to, for separation we are using this comma. Okay, for example syntax H1. Okay, text align. So here is the example as well as syntax. Here we are having heading 1, text align center, color blue. Means all these part is having the same, only we are giving this same type of properties and values to heading 1, heading 2 and the paragraph tag. So instead of writing these lines of codes, we are using it in a single, it is called as group selector. So as you can see, you need to define CSS properties for all the elements. It can be grouped as. Okay, so this can be grouped as, instead of writing these 3 lines separately, we are using it in one line. So H1 comma, H2 comma, P comma, sorry not comma, because we are having only the 3 elements here. So write all these 3 for the common purpose, text align center and color blue. So next, here is the example of group selector, document type HTML, head, style, H1, H2, P, text align center, color blue, style tag is closed, again head tag is closed. Now in this body tag we are having, for H1 we are having the heading hello heading, okay, 1. Okay, so to identify these contents are same, hello heading is same for H1 or H2, but we are having the number as 1 and 2. For heading 1 it is having the number 1, and for heading 2 it is having the number 2. Now in the paragraph tag, this is a paragraph, it is closed. Now lastly we are closing the body tag, and at the end of the program we are closing the HTML tag. See what will be the output of this program. So it is given that hello heading 1 means it is a bigger size heading than heading 2, and this is a paragraph. Okay, so you can practice such type of another headings, stack another headings in this, and you can practice more programs. Positioning in CSS. Now we are going to move the next topic, positioning in CSS, because positioning says we are having the position. The positions may be left corner, right corner, top or bottom. So CSS helps to position the HTML elements. The position property is used to set position for an element. The element can be positioned using the top, bottom, left and right properties. We can use any one of the property, or we can use two property at simultaneously. So syntax for this is selector, again position value, top value, left value, bottom value, right value. Okay, there are 4 types of positioning in CSS. Okay, number first is static positioning. The meaning of static means also fixed. So these two are taken in this one format, and for these two we are having a common example which we discuss in the next slide. This is by default position for HTML elements. So students, you can take questions from these also, that this is the default position for HTML elements. Which positioning? Static positioning. Okay, so create your own questions and answers, true or false, MCQ, by reading or taking these experiences. It is not affected by top, bottom, right and left properties. Okay, this it means that by default we are using from left side. So it is saying that it is not affected by top, bottom, right and left properties. Number 2 is fixed positioning. This property helps to put the text fixed on the browser. Okay, means you have to fix somewhere in the browser. The fixed property forces an element into a fixed position relative to the browser window. The fixed element will not move even when the page is scrolled. Okay, so what is the main purpose of this fixed positioning? Means if we are scrolling the page in the browser, so that portion is not moved. Okay, even when we are scrolling. So in the next slide we are having the example. Let's see the example. Document type HTML, head, style, P dot fixed, position fixed, top of 50 pixels. So here we are giving the values as in the form of pixels. So from top margin we are having 50 pixels, from right margin also we are having 5 pixels, and color is equal to blue. So style tag is closed, head tag is closed, body tag in this first paragraph we are saving. This is paragraph 1, again it is closed, paragraph tag, again is next paragraph tag. This is paragraph 2, this paragraph tag is also closed, and number 3rd paragraph 3, this is paragraph 3, again it is closed. P class is equal to fixed. Okay, now we are using the fixed property here. This is the fixed position text, again we are closing this tag. Next body tag is closed, and lastly we are closing the HTML tag. See what is the output of this program. This is paragraph 1. This is paragraph 2, this is paragraph 3, this is the fixed position text. Okay, from top and left we are having the pixels, means small pixels value, small changes are there in this heading. So you can practice such type of programs. So now we are going to see the third type of positioning, that is relative positioning. The relative positioning property is used to set the element relative to its normal position. Okay, it is set to the normal position. And number 4, absolute positioning. This property sets an element in a specific location and is not affected by the flow of the page. So this property absolute means a specific location. So example of this, in school we are having our sitting places fixed because it is from the ascending order. Those who are having the height less, so he or she will be sit on the first bench and so on. So in this absolute position values is also set as a specific location and not affected by the flow of the page. This property positions the element at the specified coordinates relative to your screen top left corner. Okay, top left corner means this type of corner. This side is left aligned and this is the top left, upper top left. Okay, so example, we are having HTML head style dot means class followed by class name. The class name is first, position relative, top is equal to 10 pixel, right 10 pixel, h2 position absolute, left 100 pixels, top 150 pixels. Okay, slash style tag is closed, again header tag is closed. Now in this body tag we are having h1 class is equal to first, this is heading 1 slash h1, h2 this is heading 1 slash h2 slash body slash html. Now we will see the output of this. As like this. Okay, so here is the difference between, we are having mentioned the values of pixels. So this such type of gap is formation is there. So you can practice more and more programs by changing the pixel values. You can see the difference. Okay, now next, float property. Okay, float in CSS property written in CSS file or directly in the style of an element. The float property defines the flow of contents, means we are showing the flow of contents. Maximum the flow of content is regularly, but if we have to break some, so that can also be defined in this float property. Following are the types of floating properties. There are the 3 types. Number 1, float left. Okay, this gives the element float on left side of the container. The meaning itself indicates that left means we are having or we are placing the elements float on the left side of the container. Number 2, float right. It gives the element float on the right side of the container. Right indicates to the right side of the container. And float none. None means nothing. This is default property, that is this shows the element as it is, means no change. Where you have given the element, it will show as it is. Okay. For example, again we are having the syntax HTML head style. Again this is a class selector, dot float left, font size 20 pixel, background color gold. So we are not having this gold color as an output, so it is not supported by the Opera browser. Float right, font size 20 pixel, background color gold. Again style tag is closed here. In this heading 2 or h2, class is equal to float left. We are having this as Bal Bharti, and slash h2 tag is closed. In this paragraph tag, this text arranges itself to flow around the element that is floated left. Paragraph tag is closed. Same type of heading is here or same is used here. So we are having, but it is not given in this output. There is some having browser problem or somewhat mistake in the problem, because in the output we have to show the output as Bal Bharti to the left and this to the right side, but it is not shown in this. I will show it in the next practical. Okay, this text arranges itself to flow around the element that is floated right. So paragraph tag is closed, again body tag is closed, and HTML tag is closed. So the output of this is not displayed or not shown because it was not showing the properly display property. The display property in CSS defines how the components, division, hyperlink, heading, etc. are going to be placed on the web page. It specifies how the element is displayed. As the name suggests, this property is used to define the display of different parts of the web page. Okay. So for display it is used as a display property. Syntax, display value. We are having the same type of syntax, only we have to keep in mind that for display it is display and value. For a selector it is property and value, whereas values are inline. So in this value we are having the different type of values. First value is inline value. It is used to display an element, a line element, as an line element. Next is block. It is used to display an element in block element. It starts on a new line and takes up the whole width of the browser window. Okay, it starts in the new line, means if we have end this statement here, so this statement will be started on the new line. So next is block inline. Okay, this value is similar to inline element, but the difference is that you are able to set the width and height. So block property and block inline property, what is the difference between? We can set the width and height. Rest of the things are same. And last property is none. The element is completely removed, means to remove the elements we are using this none type of property. So let's see an example. So we are having this such type of format. In this p tag we are displaying display inline. So we are using the first kind of values here. Style tag is closed, head tag is again closed. In the body tag, paragraph, welcome to Bal Bharti. So this is the name of the book, we are saying it as welcome to Bal Bharti. Again paragraph tag is closed. In this paragraph tag, JavaScript, we are using JavaScript scripting language here. So it is just a kind of heading. This is also kind of heading. This paragraph tag is closed. Again there is a paragraph in which we are having mentioning CSS, that is cascading style sheet. Again this paragraph tag is closed. Now slash body and slash HTML. So this is the output of this welcome to Bal Bharti JavaScript CSS. In one line we are having this coding, okay, or the output. Next, order list and number list, or order list and unordered list. The order list is another name having numbered list. Means order means we are maintaining some sequence. Okay, it may be alphabetically, it may be numerically. So maintaining some sequence. For example, in our attendance, if the student is having surname started from A, is having roll number 1. Again next B, C, D up to Z. Okay, so order list in HTML is such type of. So the another name for the order list is numbered list. So students, please take such kind of questions for you. It is your duty to remember and put down these questions for MCQ, one single correct answer alternative. The OL, the short form of O and L, order list, is given as in angle bracket OL. So order list, we are using the OL tag, defines an order list. An ordered list can be numerical or alphabetical. So simple meaning is there, it may contain some alphabetical numbers or numerical numbers in the sequence or in some order. Attributes of OL tag. So here we are having the attributes of OL tag. We are having the 3 columns: attribute, values, description. Okay. First attribute is type. So what is the type of this attribute? Values. We are having these values because in some contents we are showing it as 1. So it is enclosed in the double quotes. We are having only the format 1. Okay. Slash means we can use this format or these values or these values. So here is small letters A. Okay. Here it is capital letters, that is Roman letters we are using, and again using slash we are having small type of Roman letters or small type of ABCD we are saying it as small I, it is displayed. All these are enclosed in double quotation and this is given or the difference is shown between the slash. So description, 1 is the default value. Again question, what is the default attribute of order list? Okay. So you have to write 1 is the default value and other values specify the numbering type for the used items. Okay. So if we are not giving such type of values, so by default the browser will take 1 as the first value. Next is the reversed. What is the meaning of reverse? We are getting back. Okay. So values is also in the form of reverse. These attributes specifies that the items of the list are specified in the reverse order. Means if you are having the sequence 1, 2, 3, then it will take in the reverse order 3, 2, 1. Okay. Next in this attribute is start. Start, the values is number, because we are starting the attributes with a number, specifies the starting number of the first item in an order list. Okay. So we will see an example. So here is a simple example. So again we are having the document type HTML body H3 list of topics slash H3 means we are giving this list of topics in heading. Okay. OL tag. Okay. OL tag is used with the LI tag. LI tag stands for list tag, basics of IT. Okay. So in the first number or first position we are giving basics of IT slash LI. It is optional. If you have give this ending tag, it is also right. If you are not giving this ending tag, it is also right. So both way you can practice. Same program you can practice with the help of using slash LI tag and without using this slash LI tag. See what is the difference, but this tag is optional tag. You can use or may not be used in the ending tag. Okay. So second list item is having is an HTML and the third list item we are having is PostgreSQL. These are all the of our subjects or topics of these chapters. Then this order list is closed here by using the slash OL tag. Means this tags is called as pair tags as we know. Now in this heading 3, list of topics starts with the series 50. Okay. In book, here it is given in double inverted comma. So if you give double inverted comma, the output will not be displayed. So I have make one correction here. So I have not put it the values in the double quotation mark, and this heading 3 is closed. Now again we have to start. OL start is equal to 50. Means what is the difference? In this OL tag we are having the output. We can see the output as these basics of IT. We are using the first default font or default value. For HTML we are using the second value or 2 it is used, and for PostgreSQL we are using the 3, but same type, same contents we have to show with the starting value as 50. So we have mentioned here OL start is equal to 50. In that similar items are there. Rest of the things you can copy paste so that you can minimize the time as well as coding efforts. Okay. So this OL tag is end here. lastly we are closing the body tag, and lastly we are closing the HTML tag. So the output of this is, you can see clearly the output, list of topics. Okay, number 1 basics of IT, number 2 HTML, number 3 PostgreSQL, and the same heading titles we are having it as the starting number 50, 51 and 52. So here we have mentioned the list of topics start with series 50. So you can practice with giving the next numbers or next digits as you wish. Okay, so do more and more practice on such programs. Only I have taken for example one program, but in book it is giving one or more programs, so you can practice this type of programs. So the second part is unordered list. Okay, order list or numbered list. So unordered list is another name is called as bulleted list. An unordered list created using the UL tag, U and L. Starting values of this is enclosed in the angle bracket is called as UL tag or unordered list tag, and each list item starts with the LI tag. So LI tag is common for the both ordered list tag and unordered list tag. The list items in unordering list are marked with bullets. Means we are not maintaining some sequence in this unordered list. So here the items in the list tag are marked or shown by the help of bullets. Some black circles, small black circles, the bullets are indicated by small black circles by default, because it is the default value for the bulleted list. Now here it is a example 1. In book we are having more than one example, so you can practice, because all the PDF are sent on the WhatsApp group to students. So here is the starting of the program. I will read from here. H3 heading 3 HTML unordered list. Okay, so heading 3 is closed. UL unordered list, it starts here. LI basic tag, basics of IT, same contents I have used here as in the previous program. HTML, PostgreSQL, and this UL tag is ended here. Again slash body is closed, again slash HTML is closed here. Okay, so next we are having the output as HTML unordered list as in the form of these type of small circles. It is called as bulleted list. Okay, so you can take many more examples, much list, or the name of students, as well as another type of some examples in this order list and unordered list. So next part is definition list. Okay, to define a definition list, DL tag is used. This is a new concept which we are not having in the last year 12th syllabus. To define definition list, DL tag, D and L, the starting values is enclosed in the angle bracket is used. You can create items in definition list with the DT and DD tags. So what is the long form of DT? It is used for the definition terms. Okay, and the DT tag is used to define the term, whereas the DD tag is used to define the term's definition. It is T is used for definition terms and terms definition. Following type the following code. Okay, document type. Now again it is enclosed, or it is, we are saying that it is the example of definition list in the part of program HTML program. Document type HTML body H3, example of HTML definition list. We are closing this heading 3. Now here DL, definition list is started in this DT. Okay, DT define the term. Okay, in this we are using the bold tag, means we have to show this heading as bold. Okay, in this we are using the bold tag and it is applied to the text HTML. Again this bold tag is closed here, again this DT tag is closed here. If you are getting confused writing in this one line, you can write on the separate line. For example, DT, in another line B tag, write HTML, then slash B and slash DT. Now we are using the term definition as DD tag. Okay, DD, a markup language for creating web pages / DD. Okay, again we are using this DT tag, we are using bold tag in this CSS. Again we are closing the bold tag as well as DT tag. In the definition, term definition tag, we are using a technology to make HTML look better. We are closing this DD tag. Again we are closing the DL tag, and we are closing, lastly we are closing the body tag and HTML tag. So if you see, the syntax is simple, only you have to keep in mind that what is DL, what is DT, what is DD. Okay, so and what is the output. So the output is example of HTML definition list. First is HTML, a markup language for creating web pages, CSS. Okay, so whatever you want to write in this type of format, you can write in the type of definition list. So now we are going to move towards nested list. Nested list means what the meaning is called as, or the meaning is given here, list within another list. Okay, means you are having a list and another list is enclosed there, so it is called as nested list. List within another list, either order list or unordered list. No part, it may be a kind of order list or it may be an order list, is called as nested list. So example, single level nested list. Okay, so there is in the book we are having 2 examples, so I am taking only one example. You can practice the second example by doing such type of writing code. So again the starting heading part, so we are starting from this body tag. In this heading 3, HTML nested list is there. Again we are closing the H3 heading. So in order list we are using list tag. Introduction to Tally, list tag is closed. Again in second list, introduction to DBMS, again list tag is closed. Unordered list, UL stands for unordered list. Style is equal to list style, type is equal to circle. Okay, in bulleted list this is also default, but we have mentioned here definitions of DBMS, applications of DBMS. So here note the difference that I have not mentioned the ending li tags here. So it is also right to mention the li tag, end tag or not, it is optional tag. So in the lastly we are closing the ul tag. Again li tag, PostgreSQL, order list close, body tag is closed, HTML is closed. Now what is the output of this? Okay, so I think I have not copied the output of this, so you can copy or you can do practice. Inserting audio and video in HTML5. Now the interesting topic, now up till we have seen that we can insert text in the HTML web pages. Now we are inserting audio and video in HTML5. HTML5 new specification enables users to have a far more control over audio on web pages. Okay, HTML5 features include native audio and video support without the need for Flash. This is a software called as Flash. HTML5 includes special elements, tags, allowing to include video and audio to define controls. Okay, common audio formats. Now there are some type of common audio formats as MP3. All the students are familiar with this MP3 audio format, and audio format from MPEG. The long form of MPEG, again it is the question for direct filling the blanks. MPEG stands for. So here are the 2 options, moving picture experts group or motion picture experts groups. So you can write it both as moving / motion pictures expert group. Okay, in some books we are using it as moving picture experts group, or in some books it is written as motion picture experts group. So both are right. So you can write in a single line, moving / motion pictures expert group. The second format is AAC. The long form of AAC is advanced audio coding. Okay, standard format on iPhone, YouTube, etc. This is used in iPhone or YouTube, etc. The next audio format is OGG, an open container and free audio format. Okay, audio tags. The audio element enables you to embed or add audio files on web pages. Okay, declare the audio tag and specify the source attribute to the audio file location. Syntax, the syntax is given as audio source. We can write it on one line, but we have in slides it is not taking the attribute in one line, so it is divided into two parts, audio src, but we can write it on the single line. Audio src is equal to, it is enclosed in the double quotation marks. Okay, sample.mp3. This file you have to in your PC or computer or laptop, whatever you are using. Type is equal to audio/mpeg control/audio. So this is the syntax for audio format. Now we are going to see the example of audio. Okay, so again, document type HTML body, paragraph tag audio sample /p audio controls, source src test.mp3, type is equal to audio/mp3 /audio /body /html. Again, the requirement is that you have to have the audio file in your PC or computer, and again you have to have speaker, otherwise it is not audible to you. So this kind of output is there in your output. Okay, now we are moving to the next point, that is video tag. The HTML video tag is used to embed video into your web page. It has several video sources. There are 3 different formats that are commonly supported by the web browsers, that are MP4. In video audio file formats we are seeing MP3. Here in the video tag we are using MP4, OGG is common, and WebM. Okay, the syntax is video source URL. The long form of URL is uniform resource locator controls /video. Again, we are showing this by an example. Okay, document type HTML body, video width is equal to 320, height means we are showing in this portion of that. So we are mentioning the height and width controls here. Source src is equal to movie.mp4. Again, this video file you have to make sure that it is in your PC or laptop. Type is equal to video mp4. Source is equal to movie.ogg. Type is equal to video ogg. So here we have written here, your browser does not support the video tag. Some browsers are not supporting the video tags, so we have written the line only the rectangle having the width and height, this we are having, and the control tags we are having in the output /video /body /html. So such type of output is there. If you are having that file or your browser will support that file, then you will get that video or you can play that video. Okay, next is image map in HTML5. An image with multiple hyperlinks is called as image map. Okay, means we are having the many type of links, hyperlinks in this image is called as image map. Image map is used to connect links to different regions on the web page. An image map is created by marking certain regions on an image clickable. Means if you have to show this kind of image or this particular point, then we can map it by giving the clickable image. These clickable regions are called as hotspots. Okay, so image maps are of 2 types. There are 2 types of image mapping, client side and server side. We will confine, means limit only to client side image map, because on server side image map we have to depend on the server. The tags are used are, number 1, img image. Okay, image tag is used. It is used to insert an image on a web page. To create a client side image map, use map attribute of img is used with the value which is preceded before with a hash symbol. Okay, so for this client side image map we have to use this attribute use map followed by this hash symbol. Second is map. It has only one attribute name. It specifies name of the image used for client side image map. And number 3 is area. It defines specific clickable regions. A given map element can contain multiple area element within it. Area is singular tag and map is pair tag. Okay, means area tag is single and map is pair tag. So example is here. So I will not discuss this example. You can see this example is given in the book, but because this example or this type of client side image mapping is having been in the practical, so we will practice in the practical. So here you have to download the image, such type of image, that is in here we are using the Great Wall of China, so I was not having that kind of image or a MSC board, so this program is not completely shown the output. So here it has run, the program is run, but not the image, so you have to see the image of the Wall of China. So I will explain it in the practical session. Next, inline frame in HTML5. The iframe element creates an inline frame. The inline frames are often used in online advertising where the contents of the iframe is an advertisement from an external party. HTML5 allows the incorporate to be seamless, no scroll bars, borders, margin, etc. Okay, means there are no scroll bars in this. So example of this is, again we are having the syntax in this H2 HTML iframes /H2 in this paragraph tag. This is the example of iframes. Paragraph tag is closed. Iframes src is equal to xyz.html, height is equal to 200, width is equal to 300. Again this is measured in terms of the pixels. Iframe tag is closed here, /body/html. So the output is shown here, HTML iframe. This is the example of iframe. So here we have completed our first chapter. So you can practice more and more examples regarding to the HTML program. So thank you. We will discuss in the next session the next chapter.